Hello Scorpio, Scorpio Rising, and Scorpio Moon. People, this is your weekly astrological and card forecast for the week starting January 30th, 2017. And a quick reminder for you guys, when I say Scorpio Rising and Scorpio Moon, I mean you should probably check those out because those will add an extra dimension to your general horoscope. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on with your astrology this week? Well, we do have a repeat angle going on. Mercury is finally coming out of its shadow, and it's reforming the T-square with Jupiter and Uranus all week. Well, pretty much Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but it starts on Monday night, so it's a lot of the week. And it's going to be putting us back in the same place that we were back in December. We're being put on the spot. Everyone's finally being put on the spot. And this is happening in your communication zone as it relates to your 12th house, where Jupiter is, your secrets, your privacy, and your hidden zone, and your 6th house of work, reputation, as well as your health with Uranus. Now, you're being put on the spot in a good way. We're finally seeing people, whether it's a social network, this could actually be either people who are trying to maybe help collaborate with you, trying to spread your name, trying to help you, spread your business, get you a job, because the third house can bring helpers and kind of bring the third party help type folks into our lives as well. They're kind of turning a lot of authority over to you this week. And you might actually find that you're inheriting a lot of responsibility and a lot of perks of being a boss, of being in charge, but your test here is, are you okay with being the one who's completely in charge? Do you feel like you've been giving all your feedback? Are you okay with being the one calling all the shots in these areas? Because the 6th house is also here, we could be dealing with a big focus on work, maybe even customizing some kind of shift as we relate to work or our responsibilities at work, sort of custom creating our own job. Or this could also do with how we are actually, taking on more of a leadership role because of some hidden talent or gift that we have. And so, are you ready to have that come into the spotlight? It's a question you got to ask yourself. So that is it for your astrology. What is going on with your cards this week, we may ask? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of the Wizard. Okay, upright. And the Wizard is interesting, Scorpio, because we tend to see the Wizard showing up as the sound counselor. Okay, and sometimes the most reasonable or the right choice or the obvious thing is not the most popular thing. And the Wizard can talk about, Scorpio, you have to pay attention where maybe we've been coddling people a bit too much. Maybe we've not necessarily been talking to people in the way that serves them well. Okay? And I know that can be kind of hard to do. We want to sometimes be supportive. We want to, maybe do things nice. Maybe we sugarcoat things a little bit. But with the Wizard card, it's important to pay attention to where, if you're being put on the spot, your benefit here is you also have an opportunity to start calling some people out. And maybe you have to call even close people out on some of their BS. Now y'all know me, I am not Mr. Hope Speech motivational speaker, so I tend to get this card a lot when I read for myself. But it is very interesting because it does talk a lot about where we are maybe needing to curb a habit of maybe being so nice or so vague, it's dishonest and irresponsible. And so this week we're going to have to change our communication a little bit. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Hangman reversed. And this card's kind of interesting because, again, we do have somebody actually bowing out at the workplace. And this may be a bit of a troublesome aspect because with the Hangman reversed, we tend to see people refusing to compromise, refuse to do their part, or refuse to do their fair share. This could be a coworker or a client bailing, or perhaps just not actually completing their fair share of a deadline, doing their part to make sure something comes through. And the Hangman reversed is basically saying at this point in time, we may need to, yes, address directly how are we going to actually deal with this person henceforth. The Hangman reverse can indicate as well that we may need to focus a little bit on where a team is not coming together, where people are perhaps behaving in a way that's a bit too self-serving and self-centered, because I feel like financially things are going to be okay, but as far as teamwork and the work culture is concerned, financially things have to stay okay because work is going well. Not because, and so we don't want things to start eroding at the workplace or at the office. And I think with the Hangman reverse, we're going to have to hold some people accountable for what they're not bringing to the table that they said they would. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, the others in your life, you have the Queen of Pentacles upright. Gorgeous card, because the Queen of Pentacles is always trying to find a way to offer you something, usually something material, actually. The Queen of Pentacles may actually be the answer to the question some of you may have asked a second ago if you were wondering, well, what about people looking for jobs? Don't you always answer that question? Well, the Queen of Pentacles upright says that, we may actually have a friend or a relative going and, hitting the pavement for us and finding it for us, because the Queen of Pentacles upright does indicate that, again, like we saw with the astrology, a third party is going to make a very, very special financial and material connection for us. And the Queen of Pentacles is indicating that this may also lead to a long-term new avenue of income. And whether you were looking for a new job or not, this offer or this opportunity will still be there. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Five of Cups upright. Again, we are kind of dealing with needing to coping where a loss is, or acknowledging what is a loss and what is not a loss. Maybe even coming to grips with what could be a lost cause. And, Scorpio, the Counselor card is saying sometimes a lost cause is possibly, another person. Okay, or how much energy or how much focus we are throwing with another person or throwing at another person, trying to help him or her, better their life. And when I say a lost cause, it's not forever. It's not meant to be that insensitive. But whatever the way we're doing it might be the lost cause, or the timing of it could be a lost cause. Because the Five of Cups does indicate there is going to be that feeling of grief, that feeling of betrayal. And I think that what comes from that, though, is that we've got to also take responsibility for the fact that if we are constantly volunteering without being asked to do something, while still expecting something in return, though we're not saying it out loud, it still could be a lost cause, and I have been in that position a lot. I'm a Virgo, so, you and me, Scorpio. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Four of Swords reversed. And, the Four of Swords reversed is kind of interesting, because it does indicate fast developments, possibly too fast, but fast nonetheless when it comes to your love and your romantic life. And when we have the Four of Swords reversed, things start to switch overnight. A dating situation may suddenly become a lot more serious overnight. A living situation may become a lot more different overnight, but not necessarily, it doesn't have to be in a bad way. The thing about the Four of Swords reversed is saying it's just kind of a card of caution. It's a card of saying, look, things with your love life are going to be picking up very swiftly. If you're currently dating somebody, we may notice that things get a lot more emotionally heavy and possibly even more serious and committed the way we want, but it's going so fast this week in some areas, or some conversations may pick up such a pace that we have to be able to handle that intensity well. Same goes for those of you who are currently coupled. We may be suddenly wrapping up a lot of stuff overnight, or embarking on something brand new overnight, and it may feel like it's just happening at the drop of a hat, and we're not ready for that yet. Whether it's a move, whether it's, having to deal with our kids, and something is kind of getting away from you. It's interesting because it is getting away from you. The relationship's not getting away from you, but the pace is this week. And so it is okay to ask a person to slow down and take their time. Because with the Four of Swords reversed, what can tend to happen is, again, sometimes the faster we go, the harder it is to slow down back to a sensible pace. So that is your forecast, Scorpio. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.